Hello. I'm a week late into tarot for the month ahead. And I'm not loving the darkness and the 4 p.m. lighting. So I'm just going to adjust my light as much as I can. Actually, it's not going to move. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit over here. You guys, I am not okay with the fact that it is getting like pitch black at like 4 to 5 p.m. It's not the vibe. It's not the vibe. It basically means I can only film like before 2 p.m. I don't like that rule. I want to film when I want to film. So let's see, y'all. It's a little bit better. I feel like it's still not perfect, but a little bit less shadowy than it was. So hello, friends. Happy November. We are already a week into November, and so I apologize for my late tarot for the month ahead. Hello, greetings. So hopefully everyone has had a wonderful Samhain, a wonderful Halloween. I hope everyone had a great Day of the Dead vibe, All Saints Day, All Souls Day, whatever it was that you were celebrating and experiencing over the last, I don't know, a week or so. Halloween vibes. I hope you guys all had a really nice time. So, yes, I actually have not watched the October tarot video again, but I need to do that because I'm kind of, now that I know how the month went, I'll be able to assess how that landed for me. So I recommend that you guys all do the same. But let's get into November. What is the energy of November? I know for myself, I have a pretty good personal tarot card for myself this month. So I'm really curious what is going to come through for all of us for the energy of November. And we also have a Mercury retrograde starting tomorrow, I think. So I just did a podcast episode on that. So give that a listen if you haven't done so already. And if you are here live, feel free to say hello and let me know who you are and where you are viewing this from. All right, you guys. So let's see how you feel. Let's see how the energy for November is. I feel like it's going to be a good month. I feel like good vibes for the rest of the year. So let's see what we got. It was. All right, honey. Come on. She's going to read the cards with me too. All right, overall vibes. Oh my God. Interesting. Not great. Which goes against what I just said. So we'll see. All right, so let's see. What can we do with all of that weird energy? 2 majors, 1 unfortunate minor. So what are we going to do with that? It was. Hello, baby. Okay. Ewa says hi. And she's purring up a storm. She's never content with just like sitting. She wants to be like on my person. It's a little bit gets in the way at times. Okay, so we got a few cards for the overall vibe, a few cards for the lessons. I'm going to pull a few cards for the challenges. Okay. Interesting, like weird jumble of cards, honestly. Like often the cards that come up do make some kind of sense together. And these are all very kind of like janky. We are seeing, just to kind of pick up on some patterns straight out the gate, we do have a bunch of major arcana coming up. We do have, I would say, a decent balance of the suits. And we also have a mix of normal minors and then some court cards too. So we got some interesting kind of mix of vibes going on. So let's just talk, just to get started, on the general vibes for November. So we got 3 cards to start us out. Here's our cards to get us rolling. Interesting energy. So first and foremost, right, we've got the Justice card. And so for November, it's going to be especially important that we are acting in ways that are fair and just to ourselves and those in our life. And so this one has actually been coming up a lot for my clients lately. And so I would say one big theme for November is to make sure that all of our dealings, all of our collaborations, anything that is contract related, that everything really is done fairly. Obviously, with Mercury retrograde coming in hot, we want to make sure that all of our contracts, agreements, etc., is done above board. We want to make sure everything is, the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, and that there's no oversights, and there's no strange contractual stuff that is going to end up biting us in the ass. So we really want to make sure that we are leading with a little bit of a heavy hand on that, and that we are not being a little bit laissez-faire or too trusting. We are our own biggest advocate and ally. And I think that is something, unfortunately, that a lot of people really do tend to forget. And so we do need to be our own advocate in a lot of situations. And even if you don't have any contracts or anything like that happening this month, this is a nudge to make sure that you are self-advocating and that you are speaking your truth and standing up for yourself. For whatever reason, I feel called to say, if anyone has any medical stuff or any surgeries or anything like that coming up this month, do speak up. Make sure that you are self-advocating and using your voice to advocate for whatever it is that you feel that you need in that moment, to make sure that you're getting correct treatment, correct care, everything is above board, and that there's no neglect and nothing is being kind of pushed under the rug. So be your own biggest advocate this month. And it doesn't have to be in an area of life that is so serious, with institutions like schools, courtrooms, insurance. It doesn't have to be that type of area of life, though it absolutely can be. This can also be in just simple dealings with friends and disagreements over this or that, and you're not too sure if you need to stand up for yourself about blah 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 topic. This card always leans to please do the self-advocacy and stand up for yourself, because no one else is probably going to. Nothing wrong with that. Anyways, come on. Let's see if she'll stay put. Hopefully she will. All right, our next card, Nine of Swords. This is a tough one. This one definitely is not a great one. Whenever I see it pop up, I'm like, no. And so there's no difference for me pulling this today. So this is very much the mental health affecting your physical body card. So this card reminds us for November to make sure that we are attending to our mental health. We are attending to our thoughts. We are really taking seriously whatever small little orange flags are in our body and mind before they become red flags. So often this card comes up when people tell me they feel fine and that they're not that stressed, but they're getting endless nightmares and things like this. So this is, I call it the nightmare card, and it comes up when we've got these kind of psychosomatic physical body symptoms that are coming from something in our mind, like an area of stress or worry or something like that, right? So whenever this comes up, I always tell people, make sure you're sleeping a lot, make sure you're sleeping well, make sure you are doing things to support yourself being rested, go to therapy if you need to, talk your stuff out if you need to, don't keep it locked up inside, go get a massage, go get some physical body work, because sometimes that is what we need to untangle the knots of our physical body where the emotions are stored and where the nasty thoughts can sometimes be stored. So attend to both the physical body and the mental self, because this card does hint that these are intertwined for us, especially this month. So check yourself before you wreck yourself. If you are having some bad sleep or some weird dreams or some nightmares or stuff like this, just make sure that that's not something that you're ignoring. Do give that the appropriate weight and attend to it. There often is a reason when we have bad dreams or difficulty sleeping or just weird body aches and pains. Usually there is something mental health or emotional health going on with that is just manifesting in a physical way. So that is likely to hit for at least some of us this month. Second card I pulled for November. So it is something to kind of pay attention to, even if it's a little bit of an unpleasant one. Please heed that warning. I know it's not a fun card. They can't all be fun cards, unfortunately. but it's just something to kind of think about and keep in your awareness. So the next card we have got for this month is the Death card reversed. And so this is a really lovely card, even though it doesn't seem like it a lot of the time. The Death card is all about transformation and rebirth, very much a phoenix energy type of card. And with this card showing up reversed, it leads me to ask, is there anything that you are resisting letting go? Is there any type of death and rebirth of the self that needs to happen for you right now that for whatever reason you are avoiding, pushing under the rug, or you just want to leave it till later? This card is a little bit of a reminder that the time is now. Stop resisting it. If you do embrace the energy right now of Scorpio season, which we are in, our transformation is going to happen a lot faster, a lot easier. It doesn't make any sense to neglect this transformation vibe. We are in a transformation season right now. We are in transformation energy. We are in Scorpio energy. It makes the most sense to ride this wave and see what gifts and lessons that we can take from the energy of this season, and don't resist the changes that do need to happen. Change is a normal part of life. Death and rebirth is a normal part of life. And so when we're able to embrace that as a typical part of the life cycle and different seasons and all of that, just like the earth has its seasons, our being, our spirit, our body has also got its seasons. And so for November, it's going to be really important not to resist whatever transformations are in the works for us. It is time to embrace death and rebirth for ourselves this month. So those are a few interesting ones to get us started. And I think the fact that we've got multiple major arcanas there is an indication that this month does have some pretty big energy. So if you do feel a lot of things like moving, if this month does start to feel like there's a lot going on and it just feels a little bit heavy, to me that makes sense because we've got so many major arcanas going on. And as I'm about to show you guys, we also are going to have a few more major arcanas to talk about. So next up, in terms of what are the blessings and lessons of November, I'm actually going to start with the major arcana here, the Magician. So as long as we are embracing this moment of transformation, this season of change, and allowing the change vibes to like rain down upon us and allow it to sweep us away into whatever change that we need in our life, whatever death and rebirth we need in our life, this Magician card shows us that a new life is possible, whatever this new beginning is for you. And this card is also a reminder that you actually have everything that you need on your table, in your toolkit, so to speak, in order to begin to create the life that you want, right? So we also see the hand symbol here, as above, so below. And this, I also like to think that this is as within, so without. And so this card does tend to talk about what is it that we need to do to manifest the life that we want? What actions can we take out in the world to support the inner vision that is in our mind that we would like to become in proximity to, or just embody for ourselves, right? This is a really lovely card. It talks a lot about personal empowerment, manifestation, creation. It's very much a magical card, right? It's the Magician. And so only after this kind of death and rebirth process can we really begin to usher ourselves into this new season of life, whatever that happens to be. And I do think a lot of that is going to come through for most of us this month, likely during the retrograde. I think there's going to be a lot of reflection and contemplation happening for many of us during the retrograde. And now we've also got this fun card, I think, hopefully as a wind in our sails, pushing us forward, showing us that, yeah, there's a lot of magic on the horizon and our potential for creation is infinite. We all are I feel called to say, like, the God form of our life. We all are the creator of our life. And obviously there is, whatever way we want to say it, trust the universe, God's plan, whatever way you want to talk about it. Everyone's got a kind of different framework for that. But we are also creators. We are also infinite. We also have this amazing ability to change the energy around us and to usher in a new season of life through our own magical and spiritual abilities. And so I really do love that card. I am going to cough, so I'm going to take some water. babbling nonstop for like ever. 15 minutes. Okay, so next up, we have got the Ace of Cups reverse and the Page of Pentacles reverse. So what's really interesting is that this is very much a beginning card, new energy. These are also kind of beginning cards. The Page and the Ace are also kind of new energy cards, right? However, they're minors. They're both feminine energy suits, and they're also both reversed. They're both kind of blocked. And so this month we might feel a little bit of blockage in terms of finances. We also might feel a little bit of emotional blockages. We might end up feeling like any new romances that we're trying to kindle or start are, for whatever reason, like not really gaining any momentum. We also might feel like we're planting all these seeds financially, whether it's for our business or investments or whatever. We might feel like, oh my God, why does this feel blocked? Why am I not getting any gains on this? That's just the energy right now. And since these cards showed up as the blessing and opportunity, what I would say is hold the faith. This new beginning is a thing. We just kind of sometimes get a little bit impatient and expect these gains, whatever they happen to be, whether that's a new relationship or investments paying off or whatever, to happen sometimes a little bit too fast. And so allow those feelers to just be happening. Allow those seeds that you're planting to happen. Anyways. All right, let's see if I can read cards and hold a cat at the same time. This is going to be an interesting one. So I think the TLDR with those cards is very much like, see the big picture, right? This major is upright. This is a way bigger deal than this. So the day-to-day, week to week, might not be exactly as resultful and fruitful as we might want it to be. But big picture, things are moving along and we really have begun to kickstart something. It was. See the cat. It was says hello. Almost cat fur in my face. I'm actually allergic to cats, you guys. So not ideal to have her all up on my shit. Okay. So back to the cards. And hopefully she will sit and just chill. There was. There we go. Sit. Okay, so let's talk about other stuff we got with this. We got some challenges and interesting things that are happening this month too. And we also have an upright major with this as well. And it's so interesting because these upright majors are really giving me a lot of positivity and hope and optimism for this month ahead. Some of these minors are not as easy, but the balance of the cards tends to show that when we have that bigger picture idea, we can really see that all of this is kind of happening for our benefit. There is a plan, whether that's from God or the universe or our ancestors are guiding us, whatever way that you want to see it. It's all kind of same, right? The universe is moving along. These big picture things in our life are moving and happening and changing. Even if the little day-to-day, there's a few snags. So that is something to kind of keep in mind. So part of the reason why I'm saying this is we've got this lovely Chariot card. So I love this as a card in general. And I think it's really interesting that it's come up in the challenge position. And so with this, what we can take from the Chariot being in the challenge position is that it might feel like a challenge to kind of keep our momentum going. It might end up feeling like a challenge to continue on the path and continue on the roadmap that we have built for ourselves, which way that is for you, which makes sense, right? A plan is kind of in some ways easy to write down, but it can be challenging to show up day after day after day and actually execute on that plan. And so the Chariot is all about that movement forward, the commitment to act. And that, of course, can be a little bit challenging. Do you still show up every day or every other day, whatever timeline you're kind of working through? Do you still show up every day, even when you're tired, even when you're not in the mood? It's like going to the gym. Do you still go to the gym when you really don't want to? Do you still eat the salad instead of the donut when you really, really want the donut? And yet you're on a weight loss journey, let's say, right? Whatever your journey is, like, do you show up and do the hard thing and have the discipline and perseverance and tenacity to keep showing up? Or do you opt out, give up when the going gets tough? And so this sequence is really interesting because it's a reminder that if we do give up when the going gets tough, we are going to end up in a position that is not that great, right? This Five of Pentacles reversed, not my favorite card. It's very much a card of poverty and lack. And so sometimes we give up because we've got a lack mindset, but it is so important to look at the big picture and persevere, keep going, no matter how bad things get, right? Because we don't want to give up. Who gives up? That's not fun. No matter what you're going through, it's so important to persevere and keep going. And I think when we do have moments of hardship, that is especially revealing in terms of like, where is our faith at? Where is our belief at? Where is our commitment to ourself at? Are we still going to be self-loving, self-respecting, tenacious, disciplined when we feel like out in the cold and when we feel like we're out in the dust, either with no support, no money, no whatever? Like, are you still able to be tenacious and disciplined and act like the chariot in these circumstances? I would say I hope so, because people who are able to do that tend to have the most success in life, to be able to persevere through the harder moments. And in life, we are all going to have amazing moments of success, and we're also going to have moments that are a little bit more challenging. None of us can escape that dichotomy. It's coming for all of us. And so this combination, to me, it brings up that this is something that a lot of us are going to have to be kind of thinking through or experiencing this month in November. I know that's not exactly as lovely and fun as these readings usually are, but I do think there is a really positive message here that's also very practical and very real. So that is just something to think about. It's also going to be really important to consider where we're at with our childhood trauma stuff. This is very much the childhood trauma card for me. Are there some trauma loops that you're still repeating? If so, what are they? Whatever this is might end up triggering some of this for many of us this month. And when that happens, can we still be this? And can we still be this? King of Wands, can we still persevere? Can we still lead from passion? Can we still lead ourselves from a place of passion and being motivated and noticing that spark within ourselves and working with that to kind of pull us forward in our path and in our journey? Can we still do that? That's something that all of us are going to have to do at some point in our life, right? If it's going up and amazing for you right now, there is going to be likely some kind of downturn, and vice versa. Life is always full of these like ebbs and flows, and our situations are always in flux and always changing. Can you still be strong? Can you still be the same person? Can you still be disciplined? Can you still be connected to motivation and the spark of self-belief, even when things are on a downturn? And I think we're in a recession right now, at least in Canada. I think in the States, y'all are in a recession too. I don't know what's going on in the rest of the world, but there is a lot of interesting stuff going on. I think is going to be causing a lot of people to be in this space. And to me, these cards two together are a little bit of a triggered energy. It's like, are we triggered by, let's say, a lack of money? Are we triggered by the genuine scarcity that we might notice around us? Like, what is it that is causing us to, let's say, revert into a more childlike headspace, but not usually in a good way, right? Can we still connect to our adult self and move forward with perseverance, with a plan? Can we stick to the long-term plan when we experience short-term discomfort? I think that is something a lot of us are really going to have to think about and sit through this month of November. It's an interesting series of cards. So I'm also going to pull a few for the retrograde because I'm kind of curious what the lessons of retrograde are. Ooh. Some jumpers. And I'm going to pull actually some for different elements for the signs. I'm not going to pull them for everybody, but fire signs, air signs, earth signs, water signs. I'm going to pull some cards for all of us. And the two general ones are actually quite nice. Okay. Okay, try to remember the sequence that these cards are in. So I'm actually going to write it in the chat. Fire, air, earth, water. Okay, that's in the chat. Sorry, y'all. Just because I did not pull it in typical order. So I just want to make sure that it is the order that I mean to speak it in. So, all right. Here are some cards for the Mercury retrograde. Very interesting, very positive. So I actually really love this for us for the retrograde as overarching cards to think about. The King of Cups, fantastic. Really nice complement to that King of Wands energy that we were just talking about. So to me, this continues that energy of discipline, discernment, leadership. And one of the forms of leadership that many people don't talk about is self-leadership. And I think we're going to be in this era, this moment during the retrograde of self-leadership, where self-leadership is going to become really, really important for us to find peace and success in this season, especially emotional self-leadership. And I'm saying that because both these cards are cups. And of course, we've got the King of Cups upright. These are both upright, so we love that. So can we operate in our emotional self-control, emotional sovereignty? Can we not be triggered this Mercury retrograde? Can we be emotionally cool and chill, cool as a cucumber this Mercury retrograde? Can we not be emotionally manipulative? Can we be actually grounded in our emotional authority this Mercury retrograde? There might be some things that might trigger us, as I just talked about with some of those other cards. However, can we still be emotionally chill? That is the provocation for Mercury retrograde, which I really love. And I think it's an interesting thing to pull both Cups cards because Mercury retrograde, of course, very airy, very cerebral. And so I think part of the solution to whenever we get to maybe in the intellectual worry, wart, anxious headspace is going to be the emotional intuitive. Very interesting. Lean into community, lean into love, lean into family and friends during the retrograde. Really, really lovely. Lean into community and togetherness, whatever that means for you during the retrograde. Bask in it, celebrate it. It's a time to not isolate. Let's not do that. So now I've got some cards for each of the elements in terms of the zodiac signs. I do not have time to pull cards for every single sign. So this is how we're going to do it. So for the fire signs, it's an interesting call out. Eight of Swords reversed. Stop with the self-sabotage. Stop with the learned helplessness. You are capable of more than you think you are, and stop being a wimp. Stop pretending that you don't have agency. Stop playing small. Stop acting like a child. Stop letting the inner child run the show. There might have been times where you actually were genuinely helpless, but you are an adult now, and that is not the vibe. How can you shake free of whatever shackles that you've placed upon yourself? And notice why the shackles are there. Who have put the shackles there? Did you put them there? Did your parents put them there? Who put them there? Remove them. Notice whatever these 8 swords are that is keeping you stuck. Those are likely 8 thoughts. Write those things down. Take some time tonight, tomorrow, whatever, to really reflect on what are these 8 thoughts that are fucking you up and keeping you held back in a way that you should not be. Stop the self-sabotage, this Mercury retrograde. That is going to be the project for my fire signs. Bust out of that and into agency and action. My air signs. How nice. I love it. The star. Beautiful. So for my air signs, a little bit less of an intense message, but an excellent message, right? The star is all about self-actualization, becoming our true self. And so for my air signs, you guys are likely experiencing a lot of that death and rebirth energy that we were talking about earlier in the reading with the death card. You are probably experiencing a stepping into your best self, stepping into your true calling, whatever that is. Whereas my fire signs are more in the like death part. I think my air signs are in the rebirth part. you know, the death and rebirth has happened likely for most of my air signs. So you can step into this space of exaltation and fulfillment. The project for you guys during retrograde is to actually solidify that and to make sure it actualizes rather than just stays up here. Bask into it. Don't fight it. For the fire signs, it's like what needs to go, and what needs to go is the self-sabotage, right? So that the fire signs can get on the air signs level. Air signs already did that work. Hello, AWAS. Next up, earth signs. The tower reversed, intense. And so I think the earth signs are right there with my fire signs to some extent, right? We've got the tower, death and destruction, paradigm shift, pulling the rug out from under us. What needs to change? The way I always talk about the tower, it's like, you know, the pain of getting a tattoo, and it always goes the best when you don't clench. It goes the best when you can just like exhale and release into the process and don't fight it. Same thing for the tower. So my earth signs might be resisting these changes. And I think the changes for the earth signs are likely a little bit more cataclysmic than for the other signs. Earth signs are probably really going through it right now. And so what I would say to my earth signs is like, don't resist it. Let those rubble fall. Let the tower be destroyed. And then you can rebuild. But right now, the whole process is going to take a lot longer if you resist the tower exploding. The fact of the matter is, it is going to explode no matter what you do. So the best thing to do is not to fight it. Let the rubble fall. Let yourself fall. And then rebuild. So let it go. I know we might have attachments to some of the things that are falling, but it's all happening for a reason, and we have to trust that. So let it go. Seismic stuff for my earth signs. My water signs, Ace of Wands reversed. And so interestingly, the air signs are the only ones that don't get a reverse card right now. Interesting. So the air signs are very not blocked. Everyone else, a little bit blocked. Kind of interesting. So Ace of Wands reversed for my water signs. Do not resist your passion this month, especially for retrograde, since that's what these cards are about. What else can I say about this? What else needs to come through? If there's a spark that is present for you, don't deny it. My water signs, some of you guys have this little like niggling feeling of wanting to either do something, make art, start a business, apply to this, apply to that. Like whatever it is that you want to initiate that comes from that spark of excitement that you have not initiated yet, do that. Do that thing. Stop resisting it. Stop blocking it. That's going to be really important for you guys this Mercury retrograde. Follow the spark. All right, y'all. That's the cards. That's the cards for this month. And I'm actually going to pull a few more on what do we need to know after Mercury retrograde? What do we need to know in that last like week or so before we hit December? What do we need to know? Interesting. Okay, I want one more. No, two more. Okay, interesting. So we got a whole ton of cups, whole ton of minor reversals. So we got the 9 of cups, the 4 of cups, 7 of cups reversed, and the Page of Swords reversed. So we got a lot of reversed cups. Interesting combination. So in that last week of November, less is more. Boundaries are in service of us. Say no when you need to. Don't resist that urge. Sometimes less is more. More choice is not always better. Something to really make sure that we're leaning into. Oh, hi, Melissa. You're just catching the tail end. But I can hang out for a little bit if you want to. If not, that's okay. So also for the tail end of November, 9 of Cups reversed. Don't block your unhappiness. With all of this stuff going on, it might be really tempting to do so or to belittle the happiness that we've got. Don't do it. Let it be. Allow yourself to be happy. Page of Swords reversed. Make sure that whenever you're communicating something, it comes from a mature place, not a place of immaturity. And then Wheel of Fortune. Trust in the divine timing of the moment. I think the end of the year is going to bring a lot of like divine timing stuff. And I think Mercury retrograde is going to like clear out a lot of things, like energetically and blockage wise, that is going to pave the way for whatever this Wheel of Fortune is really talking about. And so I think December is probably going to be a big one for a lot of folks in like a nice way. As long as we're able to work with all of these lessons and opportunities and challenges that we're noticing over this Mercury retrograde period. So I like that. What a fun bunch of cards. Here's all the cards that we pulled. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of November. I know I'm a little bit late. I've been super burnt out. I've been doing a lot of markets, and so I needed to rest my voice. Doing markets is like nonstop talking. So I've not been able to be on YouTube's as much as some of the markets have been on weekends as well. So I haven't been able to do Sunday service. So I'm not sure if I should just rename it to something else that is not so Sunday specific, because so many of the markets that I've been doing, and I have a few more coming up, are going to be on Sundays. So you guys should let me know what you think. Should it be named something else, or should we keep it Sunday service even though it's not always going to be on Sundays? I'm curious your opinion. Anyway, I've got like, how much time do I have? I got like 10 minutes. Melissa says, congrats on the markets. They aren't easy to do, lots to organize. Yeah, it's a lot. And I think the main thing actually is just my physical self. Like, so when I do markets, I read, right? And so a lot of people are like, oh, isn't it exhausting, like hearing everyone's stuff all day? And it's like, actually, no, not at all. It's fine. The part that gets me is my vocal cords and all of the talking. That's what ends up killing me, honestly, through the markets. It's just my voice. Because I'm always like talking a lot when I'm doing readings. So yeah, it's interesting. I have to figure something out with that. I want to get like a vocal coach or something so they can help me not maybe get as vocally drained. Yeah, nice to see you here, Melissa. I've been MIA a little bit over up on here. And I am not over the fact that it's like basically almost pitch dark outside at almost 5 p.m. Crazy. Winter is coming. But I think we figured out the lighting, even though I prefer the natural lighting. Okay, it's nice to be back, my friends. It's nice to be back. I don't have a market this weekend, so I will be back for Sunday service this Sunday. So feel free to come with your questions, thoughts, feelings, etc. I do have a podcast episode on Mercury retrograde that is here on YouTube too. So if you've not listened to that yet, please do so. It will give you mucho Mercury retrograde tips and stuff so that you can mark yourself safe at the end of Mercury retrograde and you do not get ensnared into a situationship with an ex. We don't need that. What else? I'm also starting to book year ahead readings for people. So I will put that in the chat. So it's just sabrinamscott.com/readings. And so I'm really excited to do those. Like one of my favorite parts of the year is being able to do tarot for people's year ahead vibes. Always like such a fun time. So if that is something that's interesting to you, feel free to book that. You can do so on my website, sabrinamscott.com readings. And yeah, the way I'm doing it this year is going to be 2.5 hours for the price of 2 hours. And we're going to get into the full nitty gritty. And I love doing this because the folks who do it with me every year and who use it to plan their year, like it always is exactly accurate and always helps them plan like the best possible year that they could possibly have. And it always is just like so lovely for me to see because everyone's just like on the vibe and it's just awesome. Melissa says, always I'm so curious when people mention Mercury retrograde, so I have no clue what it means. Looking for listening to pod on the walk. Yeah. So basically, yeah, it's when Mercury goes in its opposite direction. And all planets go into retrograde, basically. And so it's a normal thing, but it also tends to there's certain patterns of things that tend to happen during retrogrades, like tech issues, exes from the past say hello. Like, it's very interesting that these kind of like past things tend to kind of resurge during Mercury retrogrades. And so I just think it's important to be aware, just to know, not to be scared of it, just to know about it. I think it's important. So yeah, listen to the podcast. If you've got any questions, feel free to let me know, because I'll help if I can, because I do think it begins basically ASAP. So nothing to be afraid of, but it is an interesting time. I don't mind Mercury retrogrades. I'm Virgo rising, so my chart is ruled by Mercury, so I don't really tend to mind it, but it hits everyone a little bit differently. So yeah, listen to the thing. I'd be curious if it's helpful. And so with that, I'm going to bid you all farewell. So nice to say hello on a Friday night. Hopefully everyone is doing amazing, and I hope this tarot for November was useful. And if you are just catching it now, obviously when I'm done babbling, this will be reposted and you'll get to see everything from the beginning. And that's it. Okay, friends, I'll see you on Sunday. Much love. Bye.